Right now, we are getting into the seedless vascular plants. There are over 260,000 species of vascular plants found worldwide except extreme polar habitats. Vascular plants have the ability to grow vertically thanks to a molecule called lignin, which reinforces plant cell walls. This taller growth allows plants to collect more sunlight. Plant evolution trends to a more sporophyte generation. Although in seedless vascular plants, water is still necessary for fertilization, and so while they don't have to grow so close to water, they still need to live in damper conditions. Many grow in shady areas on the forest floor for this reason. Fossil vascular plants go back as far as 430 million years ago during the Silurian period. Vascular tissue comes in two types in plants. Xylem, which brings water and nutrients from the soil up to the stems and leaves, and in xylem there can be tracheids, which are specialized water-conducting cells, lignin, which is found in xylem tissue and helps provide rigidity and strength to the plant to help it grow vertically. Being tall is a selective advantage for plants as they can gather more unfiltered light and thus make more glucose for photosynthesis. The other major conductive tissue is phloem, and it takes sugars and proteins and other solutes down throughout the plant from the leaves. And there they have sub-elements, which are individual cells of phloem. Roots are another feature introduced by the seedless vascular plants. Roots perform the following. Anchor the plant to the ground, which is similar to rhizoids and bryophytes, but they can penetrate deeper. Roots can also absorb water and nutrients from the soil, and many have mycorrhizal fungi to increase the surface area of absorption. Roots contain xylem and phloem tissue to help with the conduction of the materials throughout the plant. True leaves appear in seedless vascular plants. Leaves collect sunlight to be used to help produce sugar for photosynthesis. Leaves come in two sizes. Microphyls, which are older evolutionarily, contain a single unbranched vein. In plants, veins contain a bundle of xylem surrounded by phloem tissue. These are seen in horsetails and club mosses. Megaphylls, which are more recent, are larger and have multiple veins. These are first introduced in ferns and are found in the rest of the plant groups. Sporophylls are specialized leaves that bear sporangia. They can be mature fern leaves, pine cones, or flowers. Strobili are cone-like structures that contain sporangia. These are dominant in the conifers. By the late Devonian, plants have evolved vascular tissue, well-defined leaves and roots, allowing many seedless vascular plants to attain heights of over 100 feet tall. Very few seedless vascular plants grow past 1 meter today, but they dominated the landscape during the Carboniferous and are the source of many of our coal beds around in Kentucky today. The seedless vascular plants are a polyphyletic group since ancestry is not clear. The first division is division Lycopodiophyta, also known as the club mosses. Club mosses are not mosses, but are a special group called the lycopods. They were the most dominant plant of the Carboniferous era, creating huge, vast swamp forests that eventually became our modern coal beds. Lycophytes are the most ancient plant lineage with roots, the below-ground system that anchors the plant and absorbs water and mineral nutrients. Lycophytes have unusual leaves called microphylls, and some lycophytes are even sold as Christmas trees due to the appearance of them being pines. The next division is Monolophyta, class Cylotopsida, also known as the horsetails. Horsetails are prominent in the fossil record. Now just 15 species live in wet habitats such as stream banks or marsh edges. The brushy appearance of the stems and branches give them this name. Horsetails can flourish in waterlogged soils by allowing oxygen to diffuse down their hollow stems. Asexual reproduction occurs via fragmentation or by an extension of the rhizome, which produces structures specialized for either photosynthesis or reproduction. Silica granules in their stems make them useful for scouring. The next class is Cylotopsida, also known as the whisk ferns. Whisk ferns have no fossil record and live only in the tropical regions. They are morphologically very simple, lacking both leaves and roots. Molecular phylogenies indicate that this simplicity is a derived trait. The lineage has lost complex structures. Some species gain most of their nutrition from fungi that grow in association with their rhizomes, which are extended underground stems. Other species grow in rock crevices or are epiphytes, which grow on the trunks or branches of other plants. The last class of division Monolophyta is class Polypodiopsida, known as the true ferns. Ferns are the most species-rich seedless vascular plants with 12,000 known species, about one-third of which are epiphytes. They are particularly abundant in the tropics and range in size from just a few centimeters to 20 meters tall. Most species reproduce sexually, and ferns are homosporous, but the gametophytes are either male or female. You take a look at the reproductive cycle. You start with the zygote, which then grows into a sporophyte. Sporophyte then produces sporangia, which makes spores by meiosis. The spores then become the gametophyte, only these gametophyte contain both the antheridium and archegonium on the same leafy thallus. Once the sperm and egg have united and fertilization has occurred, a new zygote is formed and the system starts over again. Ferns are the only seedless vascular plants to have large, well-developed leaves called fronds, which give them a large surface area for photosynthesis. Young fronds are called fiddleheads and are often used as food for many animals. Sporangia are found in clusters called sori on the underside of the fronds, which are then used to grow more gametophytes. While vascular tissue allows plants to move further from water, it is not until the evolution of seeds that allows plants to become mostly independent of water sources. And in our next chapter, we'll be covering seed plants, including the Gymnosperms and Angiosperms.